Hey everybody, we're doing another enclosure build today, and in this one our Rosy Boa Rosy, because I'm original like that as I've said more than once, is getting an upgrade. This is a larger Exoterra. This is a 36 by 18 by 12. She was in a 24. That was honestly way too small for her to begin with, and well, not to begin with. She kept growing. I don't know why. She's always been chunky, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But long story short, we're going to be building that. This is going to be up on the row of glass cages up on the very top. So it's going to be very heavy as we build it. So I'm going to be building it up on a ladder. So we're going to build this together, and then I'll pick up the phone and slash camera, I guess, and we'll get right into that afterwards. So I'm just going to pop up here like this, and we're going to get started. So Rosy Boa, southwestern United States, places like Nevada, Arizona, parts of California, places like that. So more arid, more dry, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're living there. But this type of soil that they will find will be sandy, loose, well-drained soil. But because it'll be a little bit easier for me to maintain it, I add in some stuff that will help maintain a little bit of humidity in that. So with our substrate today, this is a combination of play sand, not Repta sand, this is play sand, organic topsoil without any added fertilizers or anything like that, and then cypress mulch, and that's for that added humidity retention. So we're going to get started. So Rosy Boas, they're found in the more desert areas and places like that. So we're going to do some rock walls and rock shelves and things like that. Similar to the gray-banded king snake that I did a little while ago. We're going to start with this big rock over here in this corner like that. They also like rock outcroppings and being found under logs and places like that. However, a Rosy Boa is a pretty heavy-bodied snake, even though it's not that large. So, as I mentioned before, with the gray-banded king snake Nez Perce, if you're doing any rock stacks or walls, you need to either make sure you adhere them together with like silicone or something like that, or you need to make sure that they are very stable. So we're going to try to build this, and we're essentially I didn't test run it like I did with the gray band, so we're flying by the seat of our pants right here. So we're going to start with this thing. Oh, by the way, I'm still working out the temps in this building right now. It's honestly a little bit warm, and I bought a bunch of portable AC units to be placed around the building, and I'm working on balancing that out. But either way, the goal will be to where essentially the ambient temperature in here will be pretty good for them, and then I will provide a halogen UVB light over here, a halogen, and then eventually a UVB over here. Sorry, eventually. So a halogen here, and then a UVB over here. This is kind of a weird old one, right? Old light fixture, to where I will be able to have them for a little bit of heat source from that halogen bulb, and then UVB and UVA heat, UVA and UVB light spectrum for her as well. We haven't got. I don't have that yet. Waiting on shipping for that noise. So, but that being said, so that's where we worry about the temperature. Humidity is good in here, and then this will be their basking spot. And then come wintertime, if it gets too cold, I can always put a heat pad under there, or I will replace the halogen light with a ceramic heat emitter for a little bit extra heat, and then I'll still keep the UVB bulb. So, keeping right along, I want to provide multiple hides and places for them to get along. This will be the warm side of the tank. This will be the cool side. So let's get this guy right here. This is really cool. This is part of the collection of bricks and rocks that I acquired. So this is actually silicone together and uses a nice little platform. But it's tall enough to where she'll be able to bury underneath a little bit if she wants to. So we'll put that kind of back there, just like that. She can kind of bury down under there. Then we'll come down here and we'll take her old hide from her old enclosure that she did like to spend some time in, and we'll put that kind of right there, and she can go there and crawl up under there in the middle. And then we'll have a water dish, not large as what I usually would for an enclosure this size, but Rosy Boas honestly don't drink a lot of water. I know several Rosy Boa keepers that don't even keep water dishes in them consistently. They'll like make sure they have it in there, and if it goes dry, they let it go dry. Because they honestly do not drink a whole lot of water. I don't necessarily like that, so I will always provide fresh water for them. Whether or not they drink it or not, she doesn't. But I'm still always going to do that because, call me paranoid. But, all right, let's keep building along, shall we? So, this is a nice big flat piece here. Let's put that right there like that. That'll be kind of cool. And we're going to take this one, another little flat piece, like that. And this is just going to, let's see, make it so that way that she has places to hide and crawl around on, get under, bask if she so chooses. Here's a nice big flat piece. We'll do this. Actually, we'll flip this around. Just like that. Actually, no, I don't like that. That's a little too much for me. So we'll go like that. That way she can crawl up under there and go over there like that. There's another little piece right here. Like so. Is that going to move too much? I think that'll be all right. So now, essentially, this acts as one large hide with a couple different layers she can crawl around under. This is a hide. This is a place she can come up and perch on as well. Then we're going to get, let's put some greenery in there too. Got a nice little fake yucca succulent looking thing. We'll tuck that under here. Now we'll tuck it over here, under this big rock. That way we'll keep that stem nice and secure like that. So we'll do that just like so. We have some dried cactus. We'll do that in here. Let's see, how do we want to do that, guys? Let's see, we'll do that right there. We'll do another one. She doesn't really climb too much on it, but she will make use of it. So we'll do that like there, nice and secure so it doesn't go anywhere. So that will be there, so that way she can crawl up there. She can climb here a little bit. Let's get a little bit more greenery going in here. Got another little yucca. Tuck that right there. That looks kind of good, and then we'll continue. Let's do this. Let's see. It's kind of cool about this cactus because number one, I'm actually starting to run low. I'm gonna have to go collect some more. I'm always kind of weird about field collecting stuff as far as like stones and rocks, but as far as that's a little tall. But as far as this dead cactus, it does all right. I feel a little bit better about that, and always make sure if you're gonna field collect anything, you always want to wash it, bleach, clean it, or bake it for a long period of time with low heat to sterilize it as best as you can. So that's there. Let's do that tucked in over there. Let's do another one just like that. Lots of greenery. Rosy boas are pretty cool. Put another little hide here. Nah, I don't like that right there. Let's do like that. They do like to burrow down pretty good, so that way she can crawl up under here with this little cork tube. So that provides 1 hide, 2 hide, 3 hide, 4 hides all in this little area. Let's see, what else do we want to do? We'll take, let's throw a little pine cone in there, why not? And then just another little bit of greenery, just for a little bit of difference, and she'll likely dig that up and move that all around. And then there's this really cool little fossil that came with that, just like a little fossil fern. Let's see, maybe we'll just kind of put that right in the back, just like that. So it's nice little cool little bit extra there. I got one other piece of wood here. I don't know if I want to use this or not. I'm not really sure. I think this is actually probably gonna be okay. I think just this should be fine. But I think, yeah, this should be good. And I'll put water in just a second. That way I'm not climbing up and down the ladder the full time, but I promise I'm putting water in there, like I said. I have one other brick here. Let's see, what do we want to do? Maybe like that. How's that? There we go, that looks pretty good. One more little pace for her to kind of crawl up on. There we go, a little bit more secure. Like I said before, we don't want to, because if anything were to happen and they like fall and crush, that can kill your animal. So you don't want to do that. No killing of your pets accidentally, all right? So let's get her in here, and then I'll pull the camera off the tripod, and I'll kind of go in and give it a little bit better of a look. So we're going to get our chunky girl. Hey, Rosie. Come on. Come on. So yeah, here's Rosie, our adorable little girl. She's a chunker. She is overweight, and I don't know why. I got her a little overweight, and she is fed so sparingly. She never gets rats. She only gets mice. She only eats like twice a month, if that. So it's a good example of how easy it is for snakes, and specifically boas, even the Rosy boa, to get overweight, and how long it takes to pull that off. So forgive the little camera adjust really quick. There we go. So we're gonna come over here, and let's check out how she's doing. So there's Rosie, our chunky little girl. Zoom out a little bit, that looks a little bit better. So here we go. Now we can actually get in and see the kind of full breadth of this. So as you can see, nice thick layer of substrate. She can bury down pretty good. Or here, that's probably a better example. That's pretty deep. There's the halogen light. There will be the UVB. So that way we can get heat. That way we can get UVA and UVB in here for her because they do bask. They're fairly crepuscular, a little bit more nocturnal than some other species of snake, than even say like a ball python, because of just like how hot it gets in the summer. But I still want to provide her that UVA and UVB heat, so we're just waiting for her to arrive. So we're still going to do that. Hey, little girl. Hi. Hi, chunky little girl. Let's see if we can... iPhone doesn't like to fixate on those. They always like to find the other little things. All right, come on. We're going to boop you in there. Boop. Silly little girl. But anyway, so here you go. Here is the Rosy Boa. Sorry for that. The Rosy Boa enclosure, and then it's going to be with all of those other ones right there. So I think this will actually be pretty good. It'll give her a little bit more space to exercise and move around. And hey, maybe that's why I didn't give her enough space. That's why it was taking her so long to lose some of that weight too. Because honestly, I wasn't just giving her enough space as much as what she should have had to begin with. I know it's in line to what a lot of people said for a long time, but we keep our animals in too small of enclosures way too often. Just I think because of like the bog standard ball python breeder rack that just got very successful. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best or right for them. So that's why we're gonna do this. And I apologize for the camera shakiness here at this little very end too. I lost my little holster that I used to hold the camera on. I know where it is. It's just buried under a bunch of stuff. We moved a bunch of stuff down to the shop. I just haven't unpacked it all, but I really wanted to get this taken care of really quick. But what do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. It's not as tall as the other ones, as you can see. That's that difference in size. But for an animal that's very terrestrial and fairly fossorial, I think this is a fair bit of climbing for her, a fair bit amount for her to dig in and bury under, plenty of places to hide for her to thermoregulate, whether she wants to be cool and more humid, a little bit more drier, basking under the heat. This will provide a place for her to bask, or even right here will provide a place for her to bask for that UVA and UVB, because they will seek that stuff out separately. And a little place over here on the cooler side if she wants to come out and just kind of see what's going on. And then some sparse greenery because, yeah, the desert, there are greenery in there as well. And it's not just always they're out at 120 degrees. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. That way you don't think that I'm always just keeping, not showing off everything for you guys. But, not that I'm just keeping my animals in tiny little conditions just because I wanted them so bad and I didn't have a place to keep them. She has gotten bigger, and she needed much larger digs, and so now I can actually provide that and show you guys a better way to do so. And I am working on getting even more larger enclosures for things. This one is brand new right here. This will be another colubrid. Essentially, this whole top row, other than the fat-tailed geckos, will probably all be colubrid species or drier species like Rosy here. And then, we have the larger rack systems over here. And then I'm working on even more cages on the other side, as you've seen with a lot of the shop updates. But sorry for rambling on there at the end. I'm going to go get her some water for her water dish. And hopefully you guys did enjoy this little video. I think it turned out looking pretty good, in all honesty. I don't know if it's necessarily as good as like the reptile terrarium building competitions, but I think this looks pretty good in my humble opinion. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know down below. Hit me up on all of my other social media, Facebook, Instagram. I try to do TikTok. I'm absolutely terrible at it. If you guys wanted to donate or help me out and support me, I do have my Patreon link down below as well. Bunch of different rewards and things like that, including, like the podcast, wristbands and t-shirts and all that other kind of stuff, sprinkled throughout the different reward memberships. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe it gave you ideas about what you can do, maybe something that I missed or forgot about, other ideas for future things. Oh, see, there you go. She's already burying down. And again, hopefully you did enjoy this video. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day, and we will check you next time.